At our last race, the kid conquered them all. Huge air and a fist pump from Fowler, who is on the gas. If he can just get through these two corners clean, Walker Fowler is going to take his second career overall win. Unbelievable. In a series of surprises, what's next? Welcome to Racer TV's continuing coverage of the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series for 2011. Today we're at the Mountain Ridge ATV riding facility. Mountain Ridge means mountain winds, hence the wind farms here. And the Grand National Cross Country Series means the best four-wheeled ATV woods riders in the world are on hand as well. Jason Wygant here to give you the call of what should be a great race on one of the roughest, toughest, rockiest courses of the year. That's a little preview as our morning races are out on that track right now. 12-mile course. We estimate we'll do 4 laps within the 2 hours of allotted time and nearly 1,000 riders on hand. And as I said, the rocks are really what is going to be the separating factor in this race. You've got to be able to get the vehicle to the finish line first before you can finish first. It's an age-old adage in racing, and it's especially key on a rough track like this. There is Chris Borich, who has a 36-point lead in the standings over Adam McGill. Can he maintain that gap over McGill today, or will this track unfold some more bad luck? Let's find out and go racing. Big thanks to Rodney Tomlin there with our call off the start. They're battling for the Motorsport Outlet Whole Shot Award. Looks like Jared McClure on the inside. The National Guard Honda is going to control it. Looked like Brian Cook and the KTM there with him. But now it's Taylor Kaiser on the Yamaha, backed by Bill Balance Racing, taking over the lead. And it's a rare good start. I have not seen Kaiser up front early in the race like this in quite some time. And it's exactly what the kid out of Florida needs. And he has Chris Borich now sliding into the number 2 position. Borich and Kaiser have had some torrid battles the last couple of years, but this year it has been the Can-Am teammates of McGill and Bithell who have been able to get in between them. Maybe not today, though. This good start from Kaiser might just be the key. And now we're into the rocks that we were talking about. They will be such a factor in today's race. I know I've said it over and over already, but there you see one of the Can-Am riders getting creative with his lines, and you can make passes by doing that, but at the same time, you hit one of those rocks wrong, you can bend up suspension or steering components on your machine and be out for the day. So for Borich in the number 2 spot, he knows he's got to be consistent to try to maintain that points lead. A couple of riders coming through. The number 5 is Don Ackerman. The 3 is Chris Bithell. Here is the 2 of Kaiser in the lead. Now Kaiser out of Florida was a sand specialist for a long time, and he has really improved his ground game on the rocks the last few years. He's tough on any terrain. To give him a start like this, and it could be time for Kaiser to put up his first win of the season. The rest of the field starting to pick their way through. And you can see the pace these riders are running. The number 10 there of Johnny Gallagher at the back of this train. Everyone is playing it a little bit conservatively through these rocks early on. Although I would say one rider is being aggressive besides Kaiser, your leader. This guy, no surprise, Brian Wolf on the gas early. And Wolf has shown unbelievable speed this year, his rookie year in the class. A couple other riders are tangled up in the back. That's one of the Honda men, and I think that is McClure, who had your whole shot. So what a turnabout for him. Had the early lead, then got knocked off the machine, and he had to take time off to re-plug his tether switch in. Yes, that is the number 16 of McClure. Kid out of Pennsylvania has had a couple of top 5s this year, 4 of them in fact, and a podium at one race. Unfortunately coming unglued early today. There's Wolf in second, challenging Kaiser, and now McGill has gotten around Borich for 3rd. Bithell is right behind, then it's Cook, Ackerman. They're making a push right now, and they are really attacking Borich. And it looks like we have a new leader, and it's Adam McGill. Now this trail splits to the left and right through here. It looks like a couple of riders took the left, a couple of riders took the right, and it looks seems like the left is a little bit faster because, yes, Adam McGill maintains the lead, and Wolf followed him through there. And there goes Kaiser and Boric, who went to the right side. Chris Bithell on the number 4 Can-Am is right behind them. So Adam McGill opening up the lead, and this is exactly what he needs. Second in the series points coming into this race, but the always wide open Brian Wolf is right there and definitely a threat in second as they begin to pull away a bit from Boric, Bithell, and Kaiser. And Kaiser got to be a little bit bummed about going from first back to fifth. And classic Adam McGill, he pumps the fist for the fans. And Wolf, like I said, this guy's wide open. He's going to do a wheelie for the fans as well. Your points leader, Boric, is third. If you let McGill and Wolf hook up, this could be dangerous. Stay with us. Great racing here on Racer TV. Jason Wygant, your host. Your leader is Adam McGill with Brian Wolf right behind him, and they are having a great battle. Chris Boric just a few ticks of the watch behind them in third, with Chris Bithell, his good buddy, right behind him, and Taylor Kaiser in fifth. All 5 of these riders are capable of winning the race today. Here we go to the pits now. No speed limits in this sport, and it is still McGill and Wolf all over each other. These guys are so spectacular to watch on their own. Great to see them hook up in a battle for the lead today. We'll see if these other 3 can hang with them. Speed has never been an issue for either McGill, and as we've seen this year, for Wolf. As McGill leads them into the woods here on the 4-mile mark of lap 2 of what will be a 4-lap race. That's 4 12-mile laps in a 2-hour race span. And that makes it a true test of not only speed, but stamina and skill. You've got to put the wheels right over each and every one of these rocks for 2 hours. And you get a wheel wrong, and you're going to bend up your machine, flat tires or whatnot could happen and ruin the day for you. So McGill and Wolf are doing a good job of not only pushing it fast, but not making mistakes while running that type of blistering pace. But as you can see, the pack's starting to close back up. Boric, he's still in contention. This is exactly where he wants to be with Bithell and Kaiser right there. Boric likes to wait until the last lap to really let it hang out. He'll let the other riders take chances early. And we know that sometimes Chris's dad, Joe, isn't too happy about that. He'd like to see Chris just try to get out front and burn the competition and make life easy. I'll tell you, for the TV shows, it definitely adds some drama. At the moment, McGill is the star of the show with Wolf right there. And every time Boric makes up a little ground, the leaders are able to open it back up. But again, we're talking about racing over 40 miles in an afternoon. And the distance between the leaders and our third place rider is what? 2 or 3 ATV lengths? It's the biggest lead they've had so far. And it's only about 3 seconds. So that's how close the competition is in this Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Tour. Kaiser losing a little bit of ground, but he's still close enough. One mistake will put him right back in it. They just got through one of the checkpoints there in the woods. They actually get scanned with their electronic transponders to make sure that everyone is staying on course. Otherwise, you got to follow the arrows, follow the trail. No practice or pre-running in these races. Here we go, headed toward the pits. And it is still McGill leading Wolf, and Boric is closed right back up. A little road crossing here, and then back through the field, wide open. And this might be an area to make passes later in the race. You've got to figure that Boric, back in third, is studying your leaders and trying to figure out where he can make moves. And everyone ducks into the pits. Looks like at the same time. There is McGill. There's his teammate Bithell pulling into the Warner Can-Am semi. Who's going to get out quickly? McGill is going to maintain the lead, but it is Kaiser getting out quick, and he's up to second. Stay with us. Welcome back to Racer TV on Versus. Let's show you some highlights of our morning race, including utility machines, and no surprise, you grab your whole shot in the 4x4 open class, Zach Sikowski. He gets it every darn week. But early on, it was Michael Swift getting around Sikowski and taking over the lead. Darrell Rath of the Polaris showing just how difficult this rocky track can be on equipment. Also, you got your U2 class. Clifton Beasley grabbing the whole shot. He has won every race so far this year, and the number 205 was off to the races and looking for yet another one today. Beasley was undefeated last year in the class as well. He has basically never lost a U2 race since he joined this class. He was the former champion of the old lights class for 500cc 4x4s, now running the big 850s. Let's go to the women's division. Out front early, Tracy Checo trying to go for a career championship number 7. And she was out front for a while in this one, had a challenge from our old rival Angel Atwell on the Honda, who was able to lead a few laps. But Checo, who hails from nearby Shamokin, Pennsylvania, was definitely comfortable on this terrain. But most comfortable of all, the 4x4 riders, and the best of the bunch, Michael Swift. And it was a utility sweep of the overall position. Swift, Buchanan, and Zakowski go 1, 2, 3 in the Can-Am Outlanders. Checo wins the women's class. And now we check back into our afternoon race. No changes there. Adam McGill still leading, but Taylor Kaiser, who had a very quick pit stop and had moved up to second, loses those spots back. He's into the number 4 position with Chris Bithell right behind. Here is McGill in the lead as they move from the tight stuff to the high-speed terrain. And look at McGill, let it hang out. So hard to set these machines up for a track like this. They're going very fast in this field. It's very choppy, looped out, high-speed corners. But you've also got to deal with those first and second gear rock garden sections deep in the woods. We'll explain a little more about that in a bit. Let's give you an update on the riders chasing this lead group. It's Brian Cook on the FRE KTM. Then you've got McClure and Kevin Yoho. And these three are locked in a battle amongst themselves, trying to bridge the gap to this top 5. And McGill has been the point man all day long, and he needs a ride like this. Got to get this win and make up some points on Borich. McGill, 36 points down in the series coming into this race. You pay 30 points for a win. And the difference between first and second is 5 points. The difference between first and third is 9. So if it ends like this, McGill will close the gap from 36 points to 27. And that's the difference. You want to get it within one race, within 30 points. McGill doing everything right so far today on a course that breeds everything wrong, but he still has Wolf right there, and it must get awfully tempting as we get down to the latter stages of this one to maybe push the pace a little bit harder, and that's when you run into trouble. Look at how they're just scraping the brake rotors, the swing arms, skid plates, sprockets on these rocks. Man, that could change things in a hurry. Oh, and a battle there as Kaiser tries to drop alongside and maybe make a move on Bithell. Nah, couldn't make it happen. But look how close all 5 of these riders are. They're in the same section. McGill's doing a great job of blocking it out, just focusing forward on the track with relentless pressure being applied by Wolf. Then Borich, Bithell, and Kaiser. And I'm wondering if Kaiser is saving something for later in this race. He's been able to watch these boys almost all day long. If he has a spot or two picked out to make passes in the last lap, he can make those moves, and it'll be too late for them to respond. So we've been back there in 5th. He is not out of this one. Look at the different lines in this section. 3 or 4 different ways to go. Bithell chooses the left, trying to make a move on Borich. Kaiser following Borich to the right. And a new leader. It's Brian Wolf. So all that pressure we mentioned has paid off. That will push McGill back to second, and Borich still third, hovering. I was mentioning the setup of these machines, and what's so hard to figure on this course is the proper ride height. You want a machine that sits down low for the corners in those field sections. The lower the suspension setup, the better the machine is going to corner, but if it's too low, you're not going to have any ground clearance. We'll see if the GT Thunder folks have the suspension set up right, because the white flag is out. It's the last lap. Brian Wolf leads McGill. And watch out, of course, for Chris Borich. The final lap is when he likes to put his charge in. And there's no doubt that McGill and Wolf know it. Borich is going to be putting on one heck of a push. Will they be able to hold the champ off? Stay with us. Brian Wolf leads the way here on the last lap of the VP Racing Fuels Mountain Ridge GNCC. And what a charge he has put in to pull away just a bit from Adam McGill. But the big story is here. Chris Borich, reports are he has a flat tire, and he is struggling to maintain the pace and hold the spot with Chris Bithell and Taylor Kaiser right behind him. So where normally you'd expect a last lap challenge from Borich, he's going to be hard-pressed to hold on to anything. Wait a minute, McGill has taken the lead back from Wolf. Just when it looked like the man from Indiana had this one on lockdown, and look, Borich is not too far back in third. Flat tire and all. He might still be able to pull this one out. McGill needs this win desperately for the points. He's got to make up as much ground as possible on Borich in the standings. Lap traffic getting out of the way. Into the woods we go. We're at the 4-mile mark, so we're 1/3 of the way through a 12-mile final lap, and it's still anyone's race. McGill is revving his engine, trying to warn the lap traffic that he's coming, and they need to know. Oh, and Borich has lost a spot to Bithell. The flat tire certainly got to be a problem when you're getting through these rock sections. Here are your leaders. McGill with Wolf all over him. And they're definitely pushing harder than they were in the first couple laps. Bithell is right there. Borich is right there. Oh, and Kaiser. Kaiser has gotten hung up on a rock. And the course has claimed a victim. We wondered if these 5 riders could stay this close all the way through. Kaiser gets back going, but the damage is done. And now Wolf back into the lead. Final stretch here. And Wolf has taken the lead from McGill. The report is that McGill has tagged a tree. Here comes Bithell. Borich doing a great job staying with these riders, even with the rear flat tire. There's Kaiser trying to make up the ground he lost. And as these riders push the pace in the last lap, you see the damage. A flat for Borich, a crash for McGill. Hung up was Kaiser. And taking advantage of all of this is Wolf. But for how long? McGill is right there trying to make another pass. And you got to watch for Bithell in third. He has really put the screws to the leaders. Kaiser has gotten around Borich, so now the flat tire, which is only getting worse, I would assume, is starting to slow Borich up. You don't see flats very often in this game. These riders running the tire ball inflatable inserts, but it can happen, I suppose, on a very rough and rocky track. Tire balls, a great invention, have allowed these riders to take their riding on these courses to a new level. Still Wolf leading McGill. Then it is Kaiser ahead of, well, that's a lap rider. So these two have a pretty handy lead. There goes Bithell in third. And here is Kaiser in the number 4 spot. So 2 different battles to watch. Bithell and Kaiser third and fourth. They have cleared Borich. Borich just trying to hold on for points. Brian Cook, Donnie Ackerman, Kevin Yoho are next in the line. We'll see if they can get to Borich at the end. Here we go, down to the wire. The final field section. It's Wolf ahead of McGill, and McGill is giving it everything he has. McGill desperately needs a win to score maximum points and take advantage to what has happened to Chris Borich today. Here is Chris Bithell in the number 3 spot. A great ride. But Wolf and McGill have pulled away just a bit. Their pace in this last lap is torrid. There's Kaiser, and here's Borich, despite the flat tire, staying in contention. Final few turns, and McGill is going to run out of space and run out of time. Brian Wolf, in dramatic fashion, takes his 2nd win of the season. McGill, a great run in 2nd, but a tangle with a tree is going to cost him the win. His teammate Chris Bithell will bring the Can-Am home in 3rd. Here he is through the finish line. Solid points for Bithell today. The question is, can Borich hang on? There is Kaiser 4th, and Borich takes 5th. Great effort, despite riding with only 3 fully inflated tires. Here are the results. Cook, Ackerman, Yoho, McClure, and Gallagher round out the top 10. We'll send it down to Krista Shaw with our winner.
Brian Wolf taking the win here today at Somerset. Brian, tell us a little bit about the track and what does it mean to you to be back up here in this number 1 spot today?
Well, we've been trying all summer to get up here, and thought we were going to be able to get up here on the box at Unadilla, and we got tied up on a hill climb at the last lap, put us back to 4th. But the team and my family and wife, everybody's been working hard to get back up here, and today we were able to do it.
How was the track out there? Was it rocky?
Oh, the track was brutal, it was rocky, wet. It was anybody's race today.
Well, you did a great job out there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Krista. Here's the point standings. McGill gets back within 30 points of Borich. That is key. Bithell maintains a few points over Kaiser, and Wolf up to 5th. Let's give you your Can-Am race recap. Taylor Kaiser up to the early lead, getting around Jared McClure, who had grabbed the whole shot. Brian Wolf moves into the number 2 spot early and soon would challenge Kaiser for the lead and take the lead. It was Adam McGill getting past Wolf. Wolf and McGill were the men to beat on this day as Kaiser went from first to fifth. You had Chris Bithell, Chris Borich battling, but no one could match the pace of these two. McGill and Wolf seemed to have the answer every time someone challenged them, be it through the rocks or through the fields. Late in the race, though, McGill would tag a tree, and that would allow Brian Wolf to get the lead. McGill put in one heck of a push down the stretch to try to retake the lead, but he comes up short. And for the second time this year, Brian Wolf goes to victory lane. Congratulations to him. For Krista Shaw, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.